Brad, thanks again for being with us today. Secova Metals, give our viewers an update on what's happening at Secova.
There's been a lot that's happened in Secova in the last couple of months. There hasn't been a lot of news coming out, but that's going to change in the next 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
We've completed our first phase of exploration up at Dubé. And right now we've got about 1,500 samples that are coming back from the lab in the next couple of weeks. And we think we've got a good basis for a model to take on to the second phase of exploration. Second phase of exploration will start probably mid-February. And in that we're doing something a little bit different. We're hoping to do some RC drilling.
Okay.
We're going to do some regular DDH drilling.
Yep.
But we're also going to do some bulk sampling. And we're at the same time. So we're halfway through the process of getting the bulk sample permit. And we're going for 10,000 tons. That's important because a lot of the historic information on the property, and the property has been explored for the last 100 years. It's not been modeled the way that I would like to see, and by doing the bulk sampling and doing the RC drilling, we'll be able to understand the structure and why the gold is there a little bit better. So that's the news from our Duvay camp, which is just north of Amos. We've also done a program, basically a grassroots till sampling program on our Eagle River project, which is near Windfall Lake. We have 21,000 hectares, huge footprint of basically unexplored land that's adjacent to Osisko and Bonterra's Windfall Lake projects, or Bonterra's Gladiator project. Those results will be out in the next couple of weeks, and from that, we hope to do another more advanced ground exploration project and hoping to drill there probably in the summer.
Brad, you know Windfall Lake very well. You've worked on Eagle Hill. That was sold to Osisko a few years ago. Why do you like the area so much?
I like doing business in Quebec. I think Quebec is probably the best jurisdiction in the world to do gold exploration. The good thing about Windfall Lake is there's a lot of gold there. The resource that we produced, I guess about 3 or 4 years ago, is still being used by Osisko. It's at 1.8 million ounces. But now they've gone from about 30 people when I had the company to now over 300 people and apparently 31 drills. So there's a good buzz in the area. The nice thing too is there's some really good people in that area of Quebec. There's not a lot of business. So for every person that has a job, so for example, the 300 people are now working at Osisko, there's 4 ancillary jobs that have been created. So that means you're looking at over 1,500 people now have jobs based on a project that we were working on about 3 years ago. It's exciting.
Getting back to Duvay for a second.
Sure.
When is there a feasibility or a pre-feas or any sort of resource estimate? Is that in the works?
That's a really good question. No. What we've done up in Duvay is we've consolidated all the property. Like I said, it's been worked on a lot over the last 100 years, but very small, 1 or 2 claims at a time. We've consolidated. We now have 7,100 hectares. We're taking a bigger approach. We're trying to model the whole geological structure of the gold and what has been done in the past. So we had a very systematic, a very methodical first drilling program, and those results are just starting to come out now. From that, we're going to do this bulk sampling, some RC sampling, and some other diamond drill holes. And from that, we should be able to determine how we're going to go as far as getting a resource calculation. And is it good timing to do that, say, starting in the fall, or do we wait for another 1 or 2 drill programs after that? So fair question, something that's not on the immediate horizon, but something that we are looking to do over the next year to 18 months.
Well, Brad, you've said we have some news coming out over the next few weeks or so.
Yes.
What's on the longer-term agenda for Secova, and why should investors, consider investing in Secova?
I think we've got a good track record of going in and creating value for our shareholders. We did that in Eagle Hill, and now it has proved out that Osisko is going to be able to develop that into what will be the next gold camp in Quebec. We're hoping to do the same thing with Duvay Chenier. We're finding that there's some interesting gold structures that had never been discovered before. We want to put together that in a good model and take that through development like we did at Eagle Hill, so that we can either do the development ourselves Or if one of the majors are more interested in our resource, come and we'll work with them, with the company. On Eagle River, it's a little bit different. We know that there's a lot of gold in the area. What we're trying to do is catch up to what Bonterra is doing, what Bullfield's doing, and what Osisko's doing. So we're going to be doing a big push on our exploration there. Again, the grassroots results should be out in the next 2 weeks. It's now the end of January, so it'll be sometime mid-February. From that, we'll develop the next stage of exploration, and then we'll go right into drilling. So we're going to push that project along quite quickly. We hope we're going to have some good results from that. And from the size of our land package there, we should be able to find some good gold returns.
Well, Brad, looking forward to seeing those results. Thanks again for taking the time.
Thank you very much.